All right, thank you so much for joining me. So, we are here today because there seems to be a lot of misinformation out here on these internet streets when it comes to getting visible. A lot of advice that I've been seeing is sounds like you almost need to have a team of 12 in order to find people to talk to about what it is that you do and how you help. Or you need to spend $300 a day on Facebook ads, or you need to be on Facebook doing lives every day on Instagram and also living your life on Snapchat. And I found another way. I found a system that really does connect you with the right people so that you're having more conversations and you're not wasting time and money and you're getting visible to the right people. And, I too was somebody who had to learn how to use social media more effectively. Even though I'm a digital native, I needed to learn how to use social media to watch more than cat videos and do more than post selfies. And I'll get into that. But pretty much we're here because there are a lot of small business owners out there who are struggling to be seen. They're struggling to get seen, and that's really a threat to our survival because there's so many threats out there. There's threats to people finding us. There's threats to our messages getting out there. And there's also complicated, as I see here, pie in the sky ideas and marketing advice that doesn't necessarily actually work in real life. And I just wanted to share a concept that has been helpful to me. Before I do that, I just want to talk a little bit about something that a lot of us struggle with when it comes to finding the right clients or finding higher quality clients or opportunities. And the official term for it is called prospecting. It's the think about prospecting for gold, right? There is a process to find the right clients and customers and buyers, and in order to develop new business. So I have a background. I have family and friends who are in business and entrepreneurs, and I spent time with larger companies, and they have teams of people, salespeople, and that's their job. Their job is to find opportunities all day and close deals so that people can eat and people can be happy and business can be earned and people can get paid. That's their job. For the small business owner, that's our job. For the professional who's also working a career and alongside that doing real estate, alongside that doing direct sales, alongside that doing insurance, it's our responsibility to prospect and find people. But professionals, they struggle with it too. Notice this chart. All of the challenges, there's challenges identifying the lead, qualifying and closing. But of those, prospecting is the biggest challenge that they state. So I just say that to say, you're in good company, and I'm going to talk about a process or a thought process that hopefully will make this easier for you. So, long story short, a while ago, I was forced to take a more active role in my income, and I needed to find people to talk to about my business. I noticed that there weren't necessarily customers and clients in my living room, and I needed to go out and find people. So, what I do now is a visibility and outreach expert. I help people communicate their value so that they can get more first dates in business. And that's the way I like to look at it. I like to look at business as relationships, very much relationship based. I mean, I'll go into this later, but how you typically develop relationships, if you are one who has a lot of strong, committed relationships in your life, you'll see that shows up in your business in amazing ways. And if you're someone who maybe doesn't have that, maybe you have a lot of fragmented relationships, and you may see that show up in interesting ways as well. But just pay attention to how you typically interact with people in your day-to-day life and see how and if that shows up in your business life. So when I go into this, a lot of people ask me after I talk about it, will this work for me? So I just want to sort of address that before going in. Will this work for someone like you? And I want to be transparent and say the hiccup between desire, wanting to be more visible, wanting to get more clients and all of that, be in front of the right people, that desire, and then actually taking action on what I'm about to say. The gap between that is often filled with fear and limiting beliefs. So I'm going to talk about making outreach to people that you may never have thought about making outreach before. You just haven't thought about it. That's okay. I'm going to lay out a plan, a step by step for you to do so. I just encourage you to focus on taking action. So, backstory, I was there. I don't know if you're somebody who doesn't necessarily talk to a ton of people all the time. I was homeschooled through middle school, through high school. From high school, I went into college. I was an introvert, didn't really have a lot of connections as I graduated and went into the professional world. I'm still an introvert, I gain energy from being by myself. I love finding opportunities and clients for other people, not so much myself, but this works for me. So if it can work for me, it can work for you. Alongside that, I know that anyone can learn anything and that humans are the key to all opportunities in life. So just think about how you could align your expertise with your clients or your ideal clients or your prospect's mission and join the conversation that's already happening in their head. And that last one is the key to having a conversation with anyone, whether they're a VP of their department, whether they're a CEO, whether they are someone else who you might be a little intimidated with. If you join the conversation that they're already having, you'll find that you can talk to them. And I'll talk about how to do this a little later. So by doing this, by putting this process into place, I was able to pay off student loans in less than 2 years using new skills that I learned. I didn't go to school for marketing or sales. I had to learn how to, like I said, use social media in a different way and use relationship development in a different way. By doing that, I was able to secure national speaking opportunities for myself and clients, secured contracts with the NGO, the health department, and other startups. So this concept is called the Dream 100 effort, and it's a simple way to amplify your message so that you get more traction with less effort. And I want you to think about what you need more of. You might want to pause this right here, get a pen and paper, and write down what you want more of. Do you want more enjoyable work? Do you want new work opportunities? Do you want new referral sources? Are you looking for affiliate partners, accountability partners, sponsors, clients? Think about what you need more of. And whatever you have there, make a line underneath of that and then put humans are the key to all opportunities in life. And we'll talk about what that means. So to implement the Dream 100 effort, the way to get more traction with less effort, all you need is Google a brain wired to look for opportunities and pain points and the desire to build social capital. So when I say social capital, I do not mean living your entire life on Snapchat. For those of us who come from regulated industries like healthcare, legal, financial, if we say the wrong thing, do the wrong thing, someone might die, lose their money or their retirement. So we got to be super careful. And this is not necessarily putting everything out there. Rather, it is being curious about what's of value to someone else, why they may hurt, and really trusting that you can add value to another person and take their pain away, and really the courage to do this, to add value consistently via channels that make sense. So with this effort and process and almost a mindset, no one is ungettable, not even Tony Robbins, Oprah, or Michael Hyatt. All of these people have teams of hundreds of folks who have needs and problems that I am like, I want to say 98% sure that you can solve. Somebody on the team of Oprah, somebody on the team of Tony Robbins needs something that you provide in a special way. And along the way, I have backstories about how people were able to, quote, get Tony Robbins to promote their stuff, and they're able to form a relationship with him using the Dream 100 effort. It took a while, and I do encourage people to think about their local Oprahs and their niche Oprahs instead of, going for like the Oprahs directly right off the bat. By following the strategy of reaching out to groups of people and influencers who already have the attention of a lot of people, like the folks we just mentioned, this is a client result. She was able to get almost 500 leads in under a month by following the strategy that I'm about to tell you of leveraging other people's audiences, collaborating with people who already have the know, like, and trust of a lot of people. So step one to do this, if you're taking notes, is to identify 10 trusted hubs of people or pools of fish. And you hear the concept that, when people aren't having the best results of sales or business growth, are they fishing in the right pool? So think about it. Think about who has the attention of your best buyers. And think of each of these blue men or women as somebody who has an audience of 100. So I see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So instead of thinking like you have to spend all day on social media doing random things and posting one time and hoping that everyone sees it, I invite people to consider how they can connect with a hub of folks who are already invested in learning about a particular idea. So I say, my rich uncle Google, he can give you anything that you want. He can give you the answers to anything that you want. So once you start to think about this, and I hope you started to make a list of bloggers and Facebook group owners and podcasts of folks who serve your niche in a complementary way, the next thing is to search for an expensive problem and add value. Speak to the desired end result. And you may need to do an ask campaign of people who fit your best buyer profile. So people say, well, what's an expensive problem versus a broke person's problem? Well, people who have money and the funds to pay you for their service, they tend to value their time. They tend to be clear on what they need. And they're ready to invest so that they can get to where they're trying to go quickly because they know where they're trying to go. So you'll notice that these people, even though they might work from home, they also have a house cleaner, they have a nanny, they have lawn service because they really, really value their time. People who have more time than they do money. So the first group of people who can pay you, they have more money than they do time. They're short on time. They protect it. They have house cleaners, nannies, maids, all of that stuff. People who do not have that much money, they have more time than money. They're the ones who'll spend all day Googling and DIYing and asking around in Facebook groups and trying to figure it out themselves. They'll go through hours of their time just because their time is not as valuable to them. They'll spend hours figuring out how to design a website before hiring someone to design a website for them in a day. They'd rather spend, or they have to spend because of their circumstances, no judgment. They might decide to spend months figuring out how to build their own website, whether someone else who has an expensive problem, they might just go and get a web designer or a coach. Say there's somebody who wants to figure out how to earn money online. Someone who doesn't necessarily value their time, they may spend hours and Googling, going on webinars and Facebook groups and buying courses and classes and do that for years. But someone else might decide to hire a coach that can help them, navigate the online world really quickly, give them stuff to do, give them homework, and then check back on them, see if they've done the homework. So there's that. Sorry for that little bit of a tangent. So in any case, all you need is a resonating message and to start to build trust. So think about who gives people transformation. So let me back up. So something that a lot of people talk about that I heard all the time, but I wasn't able to get a straight answer to was how do you build a know, like, and trust factor? And when you give someone a transformation, they trust you. So think about folks who give other people transformations. Think about people who take folks from point A to point B. They take someone from a not so great state to a better state. I think of nurses. I think of teachers. I think of coaches. They help people get to a higher level of functioning in a variety of different ways. When you give another person a transformation, they'll trust you. And you can do this via content. You can do this via podcast. You can do this via doing, Facebook Live on a particular topic in front of people who already have gathered your ideal audience around. And that's how you can start to build trust quickly in front of audiences of people. So let me do some real life examples as you start to think about influencers that you might be able to collaborate with. So these are real life examples. There's a photographer who their ideal clients are families who have the budget to bring a photographer in to take pictures of them for important events or just because events. And they want to target these families. So where do these families hang out? Well, in thinking about it, the photographer might think, hey, they might hang out at this private school. So this photographer might reach out to this private school owner. I don't know their official, maybe principal. In any case, they might say, hey, I'd like to offer the folks who go to your school something of value. I want to offer a free workshop, how to take better pictures of your kids during sporting events, and it'll be free for your families. And I come in and do a presentation. And then that way, it's a win-win. The private school gets to offer added value to these families who pay a ton of money. The photographer gets to be in front of people. They may also say the photographer has an ideal audience of people who are thinking about wedding planning or planning their wedding. They may decide to reach out to bakeries and host classes related to stuff that people are thinking about who are planning for the weddings. They might say, hey, I'll take free pictures of people who are coming in for cake tastings and whatnot. And, You guys can have the pictures to post on social media. Folks who are getting married tend to be friends with other people who are thinking about marriage. It's just one of those age group things. And yep, they can get in front of you people that way. Real estate agent, there's a real estate agent who blogs about how to find college housing, off-campus housing in New York City. A gluten-free living coach reaches out to gluten-free chefs to say, hey, let's do a collaboration. Let's do a Facebook Live where I talk about how to get your family on board with gluten-free eating. And again, I'm all about having the right conversations, easy yes conversations. This is a gluten-free coach. I would not encourage them to go and convince people that gluten-free is the way to be. That's a hard conversation to have. It makes sense to already connect with people who are already gathering around and investing in and gathering information about a particular topic already. I encourage people to think about Amazon. If you buy a lunch bag over at Amazon, they'll say, would you like ice packs with that? It's just an easier sell, an easier yes to the ice packs than if I was browsing looking for um, empowerment books, and then they say, hey, would you like some, ice packs with the empowerment books? That's sort of interruptive, and I wouldn't necessarily be appreciative of that. A dance teacher who wants to connect with families of small kids, they might reach out to pediatric dentists and modern groups. This is off the top of my head. The list can go on. So think about your personal circumstance and go from there. So the benefits of sharing your story consistently, you get access to new interested people. You get to practice talking about the value of what you offer. And when you keep doing this consistently, you will have to get more first dates in business. That's just how things work out. When you are in front of people talking about what they're already interested, joining the conversation they're already having in their head and giving value, people like that. People like being helped and supported, and they'll want to know more about what you do. And the bonus of doing this, say you pick 10 of those blue hubs, you'll be in front of 10 new audiences who know, like, and trust you. And say each of those 10 podcasters, Facebook group owners, email list owners, podcast owners have 100 people that follow them somewhere. There's math on that, but you just got in front of hundreds of new people in a relatively short amount of time. So the key takeaways I want you to get from this is that if you build it and they will come, that's a myth. At the same time, you do not have to become a marketing expert to get meetings with folks. Follow Alex Berman. He has slides, or not slides. He has a YouTube channel that's very helpful. And, congratulations. I really do hope that, towards the end of this, you feel a little bit more confident about securing amazing opportunities for yourself. I hope that in seeing what outreach could look like, you feel better equipped to amplify your message, access the right resources and relationships, and really get what you deserve. And I know that I personally am born to help people get the access to the resources that they need to survive and thrive, and to help humans be seen. That's why I was put here. I have a career in healthcare. I love it. It's fun. Life made me have to look at doing other things from home in order to pay off loans and do other stuff that I want to do without having to pick up extra shifts. I fell into doing direct outreach and helping folks get visible. And I just love it because I love finding opportunities for other people. It's fun for me. And part of direct outreach is doing research on folks, and I'm nosy. I'm super nosy, and it makes it seem like I'm not weird. So if you like to keep working on this, if you need a fresh perspective on your outreach efforts, maybe you've developed a pitch list, maybe you've done pitches and you haven't heard back in a way that, that you would like to, or maybe you don't know how to identify decision makers or people who are in positions to make decisions about purchasing, especially if your industry is anything related to health, wellness, healthcare. I'm definitely expert in those industries, but as you start to learn the pattern of identifying decision makers using the Dream 100, really, I can help you if you're in any industry, but I do love regulated industries. It's just an interesting, different process that we have to follow with just by means of being in a regulated field. But in any case, if you want to go beyond consuming good information, and if you want to go into execution and implementation, I would love to support you. I would like to stay in touch. This is where you can stay in touch with me. And if you have any questions, feel free to leave them in the comments. And you have a wonderful day. Take care.